4 boards rotted here, but other than that, it's still a
But
solid
isn't that a
wood.
miracle that
Oh, yeah.
once in a while?
Yeah,
This was
well, there's a spot in the corner there that's not so bad.
But
But,
an honor.
so I've got new paneling that's gone up. There's no more leaking in the roof. Oh, and Janet, by the way, just to let you know, because I know that it like almost broke your heart to see the windows open all winter.
Did
But I
a little
had
bit.
double screen on.
That- Oh, okay.
Yes,
So-
but
So
I
the snow didn't
told.
come in.
Yeah, no, the snow
So
didn't
you,
come
so
in,
you
no water
can't, you
came in.
can't tell from the outside.
Yeah, I know, I know.
I
and
thought
it-
you lost your mind.
No, I know. Well, you know, it's about once a year, you know. But you know, I told Judy to tell you, but of course she never did. No. Anyway, no, but I had a double screen here, just like, you know, whatever lots of people have in their shed. So no snow came in when I came in the spring. But the reason behind that
Oh, from the
was
old,
so that
that's what it was.
I
So
wanted
when
to
you
get
come
the
in
smell out of here.
side
So
door
it did smell worse
to the
last
left.
year.
Oh, yeah.
But all winter, it was just fresh air coming in the whole
There's
time.
not a second door.
So that
Oh,
kind
there's
of
a
got
second
that mildewy smell out
How
of it.
big was
But
the
I
yard?
just put the windows in because now the rain, and with the rain.
Oh, yeah, it's in this.
Ah,
From those men, and just stick him in.
yes, there we go.
All in there, like all the ones.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? Oh, guys, let me tell you, I believe there's a ghost in here. And I don't know, you know, but it's in that corner. Because I've slept here many times, because over the weekends that my friend Rob and I were up working, eventually we got the place clean enough and free of dust that we put cots in here and we were sleeping in here. Actually, I brought my trailer up at one point, we were just sleeping in the trailer. At first, we were sleeping in town, but there were some few nights that we stayed here, and at night, I was just like, what is that weird energy in that corner over here? It was pretty trippy, actually. It was quite interesting. It was, I don't know, I'm not like a believer in ghosts so much or whatever, but I just felt this weird vibe over here. I can feel vibes.
Oh, good
But
story.
maybe there is a ghost.
Terry
Who
Bottom?
knows? But it's in that corner there. Yeah, there's a story about something, Billy, something, did you read that story?
No, I don't recall.
Yeah, what is that story?
Bill?
Yeah, Bill.
Black Bill.
Black Bill.
Black Bill,
No, this had
Have
nothing
you
to do
seen
with
the
that.
art?
But it had nothing to do with the lodge.
No.
Right, okay, so yeah, the Black Bill. So, yeah, if you guys wanna take a look in here, you can see the archway that's in there, the original archway. So, I can just show you the footprint. You see this part here and this part here, there's that paint on it. So there was this great archway that went up and over. And when I came in here, all of the walls were white, tongue and groove. And all of these things were up here, and there was this great archway. And it was trippy because I was a little like, this is kind of like a church, but it's not. It's got a completely different vibe, and I wasn't sure what it was, but you know, I found it was the Orange Lodge. But
So this archway's gone.
no,
It's in
all
here,
kinds
you
of-
have it.
yeah, it's back there. It's in there. It's in the room. You can take a look, Jen. Yeah, it is. It's quite remarkable.
You don't have your phone, do you, with your light?
So,
It's safe in there, Janet.
No, there was a picture being taken.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, here's the art. Mary.
I got a picture of it.
The orange.
So I don't know what this room
No, they
looks like
didn't.
again.
No, they
It's
weren't.
all up, right?
Might be for the.
Well, yeah, there is. They had
It's a flag.
they were not a religious organization, although I believe they were all Presbyterians, but they
No, I
weren't
haven't.
religious. They didn't have religious ceremonies or orders or anything like that. But they had, because it's a pretty large society. Do you know about the Loyal Order of Orange, the history of the Loyal Order of Orange? Anyway, it comes way back from Ireland. And actually, Sir William of Orange was a Dane that
I
ended
knew
up,
a little bit.
yeah, helped Ireland separate from England. And then all of his soldiers stayed in Ireland, and they started the Loyal Order of Orange to honor Sir William of Orange.
That's exactly.
And
what I
then
thought.
they
I
ended
think
up
everyone
all
turned
becoming
off.
integrated into the Irish society, and they all just became Irish. And then their actual society, the Loyal Order of Orange,
I
became
know exactly.
the Orangemen.
Yeah.
And then when they all moved to Canada, they all said, hey, let's make some lodges, because we had our little society over there. But they had established some rules and regulations and some governance.
Yes.
And because they felt they were elite, I guess, in some manner. I haven't done a lot of study, but any kind of secret society of men, they get integrated into, society. But I believe that they were generally good guys. I mean,
Well, they're very Protestant.
Very Protestant,
And my
very
dad was
loving.
raised Free Methodist, but
Yeah.
then became Anglican, which is not Roman Catholic, but he did not believe, because he felt that they
We're a little.
discriminated.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, and then there was always a discrimination
Oh, there-
because they
So I
were
got one.
Protestant and they brought in their religion.
And that was it.
No,
Yeah.
Protestant.
Yeah, and they were Protestant.
They
That was
were-
it.
And I'll bet
So-
this
Yeah,
archway
that's what-
had something to do with ceremony or
Oh,
something that
most
they
certainly.
did,
Yes.
right? That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
central to their orders
Yeah,
of governance,
yeah.
right?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
But I don't believe it was a religious thing, although they did bring their religion in, but they didn't come here for like a worship service.
But I just meant if one
Yeah.
looked into other places, they might have
Yep.
the same arch
Yeah.
in different centers,
Absolutely.
and you'd
Yep.
find then what.
You're right about that. Yeah, they were very ceremonial and
Well,
what
like
they
the
did
Masons,
for
I guess
sure.
the Masons and all those societies, right, they all have their rituals.
Yes,
Yeah.
ritualistic, there you go, yeah.
So Laura, so
Yes.
that's the only part of the roof that you have to fix, like.
No.
Like this, is it steel? It's not steel.
Yeah, it is steel. Just let me, give me a second. That corner over there also had a missing panel and it did some damage to the wall there. So that and that were the only two places that were leaking. So the rest of the building was not leaking. And luckily, when they built this place, one was they built it solid with chemicals. And all of the orange lodges in Ontario are this exact same shape and size and plan. All of the other orange lodges. Not all of them, but I mean a lot of them are. I've seen other ones in other towns. But they all had steel roofs. And if they didn't put a steel roof on this, it would be on the ground.
Yeah.
It would be. So miraculously, it did not leak for all of those years, except for there and there. And I got it before it tore the place apart. So I just put new roofing beams in and tarred it up. So it's not leaking
And it's
anymore.
not lifting or anything.
No,
Like sometimes with the old steel roofs, sometimes the nails are, or is it?
Yeah.
Is it nailed or screwed?
it's nailed in.
So they're not popping.
No, they're not. It's still pretty solid. It doesn't leak anywhere else.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is quite remarkable.
I assume the metal was added to the roof a long time ago.
This metal has been on here for 60 years. I don't know what it was before that,
I
but
think it was shingles before that.
But likely. Yeah, that
Yeah.
kind of makes sense.
right, yeah. At some point, maybe it was cedar shake or something, but yeah, this roof's been on here for 60 or more years or something. Yeah.
So the Orange Lodge mandated at a certain point about the steel roof? Because it wouldn't have been built with a steel roof, right?
Yeah,
It
that's
wasn't
correct.
built with a steel roof.
That's correct. Yeah.
But at some point, Orange Lodge nationally said all of our buildings should have a steel
I
roof, is
don't
that?
know.
Uh-huh.
I don't know because the other Orange Lodge that I saw in
Doesn't it? See?
I forget the name of the town, but it's up the way the Bruce that way.
This is dog-
It doesn't have a steel roof.
Oh, okay.
So I think maybe the boys here
Depending
just
on the
decided.
needs, maybe the need
Yeah,
or even the funding.
community said,
or-
hey, let's put some money together and we'll put a steel roof on, so we don't, for years and years. Just like our co-op, we decided to put a new roof on. That's kind of,
So that's why it's here, the roof is the most important part of the building.
yes, yeah, and I think that this, it definitely wouldn't be standing if they hadn't have put the steel roof on it 60 years ago. So,
Sorry, Laura, it's just from this one picture we're looking at, because I know the people in it, this roof's been on at least 70 years.
yeah, there you go, and that's a steel roof, right? So the roof's been here for 70 years, so, yeah, certainly in the beginning.
Can you get a
it was
shot of
still
that?
moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, but,
These look like, I really don't know,
Focusing.
but these look like podiums for,
yeah,
based on their meetings.
Right.
There's small ones and bigger ones, so I imagine.
well, the big one was
Yeah.
here, and there was this was here, and that was there, and then these smaller ones were right on the
Awesome,
corner.
thank you.
So based on your position, I'll bet you stood behind them.
Yeah.
In the society, you stood in the smaller one
yes.
or the bigger one,
Most certainly.
and then the arch, and
Yeah.
the most important in the middle.
The guy in the leader or
Grand
whoever.
poobah in the middle.
Yeah, the grand poobah, yeah.
Yeah.
We all know that term, right? So, and when I took the roof out here, you can see, this was the original roof. I mean, the ceiling, the inside of the ceiling, this tiny roof here.
Yeah.
So it went throughout the whole thing. Now, there was actually a hatch, and it was solid. That, except for right here, which was all broken, but there was a hatch here. So I went up there, and it was full of nests.
Oh.
And also just full of raccoon poop. So we made our own little hazmat suits. We got some stuff from Home Depot, a whole suit that goes around this little hole here. And then we put gas masks on and stuff like that, and we opened up all the windows, and we just physically just tore with scaffolding, and we just ripped it all down, which was a little sad because it had, you know, so much heritage and stuff, but I needed to get it out.
Hygiene.
And then,
Just for hygiene.
yeah, and also it was rot. All of here was all rotten, but yeah, and it had just everything had that moldy, mildewy smell. That's why I took all the wainscoting off. And then there were 3 levels of paneling here. You know, this which went in originally, and then there was another layer of paneling that went on, and then another layer on top of that. And I think it probably went in the 70s. So it was just full of mildewy and mold, and you know, it was just in everything. So I decided to just take it all out. And it went out that window when it would have been.
So everybody knows the Wise Millers in Ballot, right?
Yes.
So there used to be a mill on Germania Lake, which was Wise Millers Lake.
Mhm.
And I'm just wondering, and I absolutely don't know this, whether this was done out of a plane, because somebody had to plane this, right?
Oh, no, that was rough cut.
Is it rough cut?
Yeah, it's just went through the bandsaw.
Oh, okay.
All of this wood the trees just went through the bandsaw. And that was it. And then it just came in. And all of this stuff, it's right out of the bandsaw. It wasn't plain.
Yeah, but I'm thinking, Lars, that, you know, the farmers around here wouldn't necessarily have a saw that size.
No, but they would have, well, the Orangemen were a large, I mean, they were across the country in this time. So they would have had a lot of resource. And all of the other Orange lodges, well, I have read online and I've seen one of them, had this exact construction.
No, I think but I would think the wood came from here.
Oh, most certainly.
So that's why I'm thinking, I'm not sure that they would, I don't know, Barry, do you think that they would have, the small people would have had something that could have?
They would have, I believe the way I see it is the Orangemen came in here, the people in the community, the Orangemen, and you know, they were Orangemen here, and they wanted to start this lodge.
Oh, yeah. I've got
So they
that
reached out
listed.
to their greater, you know, society and said, hey, we need the resources, just like if the Catholic Church wanted to build a church. The Catholic, you know, church and as a whole would put the money towards building the church. So I believe that the larger organization of the Orangemen, the Orangemen, probably ended up giving them the resources, and or maybe they brought a portable bandsaw in, a wood mill.
Talking 1910 though.
Yeah, whatever that would look like. They might have
Might have
milled
brought
the
it
wood
maybe
somewhere
from
else.
Bracebridge or something.
Yeah, something like
You know,
that.
I'm not saying that they